And yeah, so anyways, the audio on that was fucked up, my last video. Yeah, the audio is real fucked up. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Who knows, right? Who fucking cares? So I proof watched it, and there's enough audio on there, I just fuck it and threw it up. But oh fuck, dude. But yeah, man, so I don't know, dude. Honestly, man, everybody's fighting. Everybody's fighting about the spoonful. That spoonful. Some lies about it, some dies about it, some cries about it. Everybody's fighting about the spoon. What is all this fighting about? Why is it all this hate and aggression? And remember that Alice in Chains song where he's like, why do we have to live in so much hate every day? I don't know. Okay, it's what? Who is advocating for all this hate? This group versus that group, and that group is the bad one. We need to get them. It's time to stand up against that group because they're the bad ones. Trust me, I know it. I've done all the research and everything, and I know that one group is the group that's causing all the problem. Dude, I am not buying it. I'm not. Remember the scene in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? People kind of view the Twin Towers as the worst of the three. And even though there's some truth to that, some of the best gems are in the Twin Towers. That's when they went into the Treebeard and the Ents and the Fangorn, the tree people. And that was my favorite thing. I was sure that the effects were shitty. It was the content, not the visuals. I could give a fuck about the visuals. It was the content and everything in context to the Fangorn and the fucking Treebeard and all. What did he say? What did Treebeard say? The hobbits come up and say, "Oh, please, won't you join us in our fight?" And Treebeard's like, "Dude, I'm not on anybody's side." Why was Treebeard not on anyone's side? Why? Because Fangorn and the Ents were ostracized by society. Nobody gave a fuck about the Ents. He says it in the fucking movie. No one cares for the woods anymore. And he goes on and on, explaining the whole thing. He's talking about how everybody's just fucking sawing the trees and gnawing and biting and sawing and burning and fucking Treebeard and the Ents are sick of all these fucking groups of warring factions that are constantly nonstop grinding and fighting and warring and sawing and biting and it's fucking and Fangorn and the Ents just fuck you guys are fucking retards. And Fangorn just abandoned them. It's fuck these people. They're all insane. And so the Ents and the tree people, they all left. They said, fuck, this is all retarded. And they ghosted. The tree people, the Ents, they all ghosted into obscurity to the point where Middle Earth, the people of Middle Earth weren't even sure if Fangorn was a real thing or if it was just a myth. Everybody doubted even the existence of Fangorn and said, oh, that's all just a children's story. The tree people, that's not a real thing. That's why the hobbits were so shocked when they first encountered Treebeard. Because it's fuck, the tree people, it is real. It's real. It's not just a children's story these fuckers are real. And so then they're like, oh, please, won't you join us to fight the Sauron and Saruman, the evil and stuff. And Treebeard's like, fuck you. Fuck yourself. You're just another fucking troll. You know, who the fuck are you? I don't care about your fucking wars. You know? Why? Because nobody gives a fuck about me and mine. Fuck you. I don't care what you stand for or what you claim to stand for. See, that's the thing. People are always claiming that they stand for this or that, whether it's Christianity and Jesus, or they stand for Buddhism and, you know, the ways of Buddha, or whatever it is they're claiming to stand for. They stand for equal rights, or they stand for, you know, freedom and the Constitution. Whatever it is, white nationals, whatever, it's all bullshit. Most people stand for nothing but themselves. And it's relative across the board. Nobody gives a shit, and that's the bottom line. Nobody cares. And so you see all these people claiming that they're convicted to some cause, whether it's MAGA, the MAGA cause, or the woke cause, or the white nationalist cause, or whatever. It's all bullshit. The Black Lives Matter cause. Look at Patricia Cullors, the face of Black Lives Matter. What did she do? She grifted off of the whole fucking Black Lives Matter thing and walked away with millions of dollars. Is she Black Lives Matter? Is Patricia Cullors Black Lives Matter? Because I guarantee you, to this day, she's still claiming she's Black Lives Matter. But is that what Black Lives Matter do? Is they grift off of the Black Lives Matter movement and just walk off with a bunch of like millions of dollars and just go buy mansions? Meanwhile, you got all these black homeless people everywhere and all these fucking black people suffering. What is she doing? Just relaxing in her mansion, telling everybody how much she cares about Black Lives Matter. Don't you understand? Like, there's a difference between a real Black Lives Matter person who is totally down for the Black Lives Matter cause, no matter how much I agree or disagree, and someone who's a total fake and a fraud and a grifter and a shill. And the majority of people, they're not convicted. I don't care if it's MAGA or if it's whatever. None of them are convicted. They're fake. And so it's not that the MAGA people are the problem, or the Black Lives Matter people, or you name it, the Christians, the Jays, the white nationalists. It's the fake people that are the problem. And fake people populate every single fucking group imaginable. And you look at any fucking group, the majority of any group, you take any and all groups and you just look at any one of them. 90% of that group are fake, full of fake people. 90% of those people are fake. They're not even true. They're not real Christians. You know, they're not real white nationalists, because a real white nationalist would stand up for the poor Appalachian whites who have been experiencing, you know, generational poverty and homelessness for over 100 years. How many white nationalists do you see standing up for Appalachian whites? I've never seen one. I stand up more for Appalachian whites than any so-called white nationalist I've ever seen in my life. So you can't, the problem is fake. Everything is fake. That's the problem. Not that there's some group of people that's, they're the problem. And you're getting duped. Anybody who's believing this shit, they're getting totally duped. You know? So anyways, and again, there's nothing that you can do about it. Once you come to this realization that really what the problem is there's just all these fake people. Hold on. I got to get some food. I haven't eaten all day. You can listen to what I ordered here. Let's see. What do we got? Hello?
It's gonna be a few minutes. I have a big one already.
Oh, okay, no rush. So, So, anyways, really, like once you realize this, that it's not, it isn't that there's this one group of people that is causing all the problems, and that group of people is called the red people, or the people, or they're the whatever you want to call them, whatever label you want to put. It isn't that. It's is that everybody is fake. Everybody's just pretending, and you very rarely come across anybody who's truly convicted to anything. So if there's a group of people that claim to be convicted to something, but 90% of that group really aren't convicted at all, they're just kind of going along, you know, then can you really I guess I'll just use Christians as an example. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just ridiculous, dude. I'm tired of fucking trying to figure out how to explain this in a way that people can. Because, and really, like, what it comes down to is it's all comes back to the individual. It's all the individual, dude. What's going on with me? Am I guilty of the very thing that I'm pointing my fingers at any and everyone else? Am I guilty of that same thing? Because if so, then the only finger I should be pointing at to anyone is myself. Because the only person I can change is myself. I can't change what other people think, believe, and do. The only person I can change is myself. And if I'm guilty of the very thing I'm pointing my finger at, and I'm just as guilty, like I see people that they're opposed to what do you call it? To surveillance. They're opposed to illegal surveillance where the government is surveying, like that my phone is surveying me. I'm being surveyed 24/7 by artificial intelligence, and through the government is making all this illegal surveillance happen. And I'm opposed to it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own AI program and start spying on other people. That means I am guilty of the very thing. And then I blame it on them. Well, the reason I'm doing it is because of them. They're making me do it, And dude, you see this everywhere. Like everybody's rationalizing pure insanity by pointing the finger at someone else. Well, we're being surveyed 24/7 by Google and stuff. And so I created my own artificial intelligence program, and now I'm surveying people on this platform that I use because I'm going to find out who's who and stuff. So I'm going to do the very thing that I'm opposed to. And why? Because they made me do it. The devil made me do it. That's why I just can't stand it's the Jays, it's the Jabbed, or whoever it is. It's always someone else's fault. Dude, it's pure insanity what we're seeing. And so much of it is a psyop. It's like feds and artificial intelligence bots and then useful idiots piling on. Like, all the useful idiots that don't have a self-awareness, they're all just jumping in, and then that's all you have in public discourse. Outside of that, you really don't have any public discourse. So what's the point in participating in public discourse when it's all dominated by psyops and the artificial intelligence bots and the useful idiots? Like, that's all it is. So anyway, yeah, and so I always, no matter what I'm listening to, I always realize it all comes back to self. Like, what am I doing? Am I guilty of this thing? Like, do I go around surveying people and spying on people because I need to find out if they're an evil person or not? Like, and if I am, what the fuck why am I doing this? Oh, because they made me do it, Who? What? Anyways, that's all I got to know.